He adjusts, he reassures you, because when love is real, the moments after matter just as much as the act itself. Compare that to a man who's emotionally unavailable or only interested in the physical. Once the moment ends, so does his emotional presence. He grows distant, quiet, maybe even cold. You notice that change right away, like the connection was only temporary and now you're just two strangers sharing the same space. That's not love, that's chemistry without commitment. But when love is genuine, the connection stays. He's not trying to disappear into sleep, his phone, or the next distraction. He wants to be there with you, beside you, in that vulnerable space. That's where emotional closeness grows. That's where bonds deepen. Ladies, let me tell you, those small talks in the dark, the ones you might think don't matter, those are where trust forms, where love breathes, where two people start to feel not just connected, but truly seen. So don't underestimate the importance of what comes next. When a man wants to stay in that emotional place with you, not because he has to, but because he loves you, that's not only romantic, it's rare and it's real. He asks what you like and genuinely cares about your answer. There is a moment in every close relationship when you learn what a man is really like, not just in bed but as a partner. It often comes down to this simple question: does he ask what you like? And more importantly, does he really care? A man who's only thinking of himself might ask just enough questions to seem thoughtful. He might say a casual, "You like that?" without ever changing what he's doing. He's not really trying to learn, he just wants confirmation that he's doing it right. But a man who truly loves you treats intimacy like a shared journey, not a solo act. He wants to explore your body, yes, but even more, he wants to understand your mind, your rhythm, your likes and dislikes. He wants to know what makes you feel safe, confident, turned on, and deeply connected. When he asks what you like, he listens, not to impress you, not to check a box, but because knowing you that way brings him closer. When a man loves you emotionally, that kind of curiosity shows devotion. He's not trying to get it over with or just copy what worked before. You are not a template. You are a whole world. He wants to know what opens your heart, what brings you happiness, what makes you feel wanted and cherished. He's not asking because he doubts himself, but because he respects your pleasure and sees it as important, not optional. And let's talk about the difference between asking and truly caring. Caring means he remembers the little things, the way your breath changes when he touches you a certain way, the things you told him you liked days ago that he's already putting into practice. Caring means he checks in with you not because he's insecure, but because he respects you. It means he doesn't assume he knows your body better than you do. It means he's ready to learn about you again and again. It's not about skill or experience, it's about intention. A man in love wants your feedback, not because he's unsure, but because your experience matters to him. He wants to create the experience with you, not take control from you, but share it. That's why, when he asks what you like, there's no pressure to be perfect or fear of judgment. You can be honest and open. In return, you get a partner who meets you in your truth. That kind of man doesn't just give pleasure, he gives you permission to be seen, to be heard, and to be fully yourself, without apology. So when a man asks what you like and truly cares about your answer, when he listens, adjusts, remembers, and responds, you're not only feeling physical attraction, you're feeling emotional commitment. And that is what turns closeness into love. There is something special about the way a man touches you when he's in love, not just during intimacy, but in the moments after. It's not loud or showy, not about seduction, but something quieter, something sacred. When a man's love is real, his arms become more than just arms. They become a message. Think about how he holds you after the moment ends, when the lights are low, the excitement has faded, and the only sound is the sound of two people breathing. That's where the truth lives. That's where you can feel the depth of what's unspoken. In that space, the way he wraps you up, pulls you close, gently strokes your hair, or simply holds your hand against his chest. It's not just comfort, it's communication. He might not say much, or need to, because in that hold, you can hear everything. You hear, "You're safe." You hear, "I don't want to let go." You feel, "I'm still here with you," not just physically, but emotionally. That's how you know a man who's only there for the physical will often leave as soon as it's over. He'll roll away, check out, maybe disappear completely emotionally or physically, because for him, the connection had a time limit. The holding, the caring, the softness, those were never part of his plan. But a man who loves you doesn't see your body as a destination. He sees it as a home he never wants to leave. He holds you like he means it. Sometimes he pulls you in without saying a word, burying his face in your neck, like he's grounding himself, like he needs your skin, your heartbeat, your scent to stay present. Sometimes his hold says, "This moment means something to me." Other times it says, "I want to protect you from everything." Either way, it's real, tender, and full of meaning. It's the truth many people miss. Holding is a form of intimacy. It needs presence, emotional availability, a willingness to be still with someone and share feelings. That kind of stillness is rare. Most people move on too quickly. We're trained to chase the next thing, to scroll, to distract, to move on. But when a man stays right there, wrapping you up like he's guarding something precious, that's his way of saying you matter. Not just when things are exciting or passionate, but in the quiet, the soft, the silent moments. You might even notice his breath slowing down. You might see he doesn't rush to clean up, get dressed, or break the connection. He's happy just being there, body to body, heart to heart. The way he holds you isn't transactional, it's a message. Maybe he doesn't have words yet. Or maybe he does, but knows the strongest messages are those spoken through touch. So if you've ever wondered if a man's love is real, don't just watch what he says when the lights are on. Watch how he holds you when everything goes quiet. That's where his truth lives. When he holds you like you're the most important thing he's ever touched, without expecting anything or feeling forced, just with love. You're not in the arms of someone who just wants you. When a man's love is real, it shows not just in big words, but in small quiet moments, in how he touches you, how he looks at you, how he stays by your side. Real love doesn't rush, it doesn't perform. It doesn't vanish when the lights go out. It stays, listens, and loves you in ways words can't always express, because actions speak louder than words. Remember this. You deserve that kind of love, the kind that holds you like a treasure, not a prize, the kind that checks in with you, not just checks you out, the kind that stays close after the passion fades and values your pleasure as much as his own. That kind of connection is not rare because it doesn't exist. It's rare because too many settle before they find it. Don't settle for someone who shows up only when it's easy. Wait for the man who shows up with his whole heart. If this message touched you even a little, here's what to do. Like this video if it reminded you what real love feels like. Subscribe for more content that reminds you of your worth, your power, and how to attract the relationship you deserve. And in the comments, share one small way a man has made you feel truly loved. Your story might help someone else raise their standards too. Because remember, you're not asking for too much, you're just asking the wrong person. The right one won't just make love to your body, he will honor your whole self-wants, to make the experience even more enjoyable for you, because he knows that every time he does, you're going to react in a way that makes him feel amazing too. At the end of the day, intimacy is about connection. It's about making each other feel desired, understood, and deeply fulfilled. When you figure out how to guide him in a way that lifts him up instead of making him feel judged, you create an experience that's not just physically satisfying, but emotionally bonding. And that's what truly makes a man addicted to you. Men are incredibly responsive to sound, especially in moments of deep closeness. In fact, one of the biggest turn-ons for a man isn't only what he sees or touches, it's what he hears. But here's the thing, it has to be genuine. There's a reason movies and certain industries exaggerate sounds during intimate moments. It's because men are naturally wired to respond to vocal signs of pleasure. It's deeply rooted in their psychology. When a man hears a woman express real enjoyment, it validates him on a primal level. It tells him, you're doing this right. And that boosts his confidence, his excitement, and his hunger to keep going. But, and this is really important, if he senses that you're pretending, it has the opposite effect. Because men might not always say it, but they can tell when a woman's reactions aren't real, and when they feel like you're just making noise to flatter them rather than actually enjoying yourself. It doesn't excite them. It makes them question everything. Now let's look at why this matters beyond just making a man feel good. The truth is, when you allow yourself to be fully expressive during intimacy, it creates a much stronger bond, not only physical, but emotional. And that's what changes a man from just being attracted to you to becoming truly hooked. See, many women have been taught to stay quiet during intimacy. Maybe they don't want to seem too eager, maybe they feel nervous about how they sound, or maybe deep down they feel some shame about openly showing their pleasure. Society often teaches women to be reserved, to stay modest and in control, but guess what? When it comes to intimacy, control isn't what excites a man. It's surrender. And no, not surrendering to him, surrendering to the moment. Letting go, being completely present in what you're feeling and allowing yourself to express it freely. Now, to be clear, this isn't about putting on a show. You don't have to be loud just for the sake of it. It's not about acting out a scene from a movie or trying to impress him with dramatic sounds. It's about tuning into what feels good for you and letting yourself express that in a real and honest way. If you hold back because you're worried about how you'll sound, he'll sense that hesitation, and that hesitation builds distance between you instead of bringing him closer. But if you let yourself respond naturally, if you let out those soft sighs, those moans of pleasure, those breathy whispers, it's completely captivating for him. Why? Because it tells him he's unlocking something in you, that he's the one making you feel this way, and that's exactly what every man hopes is true. But here's the secret. Your responses should guide him. If he's doing something you really love, don't keep it quiet. Let him know. Your quicker breathing, the way your body reacts, a soft whisper of yes, all of these are like a map for him. They show him what you enjoy without needing to explain it in words. And if something he's doing isn't quite right, don't just go quiet. That makes him feel uneasy. Instead, shift towards something that does feel good. Move his hands gently. Adjust your rhythm. Change your position in a way that subtly steers him in the right direction. That way, he doesn't feel like he's being rejected. He feels like he's being guided toward what makes you feel incredible. Another reason men crave this kind of responsiveness, both physical and verbal, is because it makes intimacy feel more alive. Too often people just go through the motions. But when you react in the moment, when your sounds and movements flow naturally with what's happening, it creates a chemistry that feels electric. Think about it. Have you ever been so lost in a moment that you forgot to be self-conscious? Maybe you were dancing, singing, or laughing with a close friend. That feeling of being totally present and free, that's what intimacy should feel like. And when you bring that same energy into your private moments, you give him an experience he can't stop thinking about. Because here's the truth. It's not just about the physical act. It's the emotion behind it. Men don't just want a woman who's there. They want a woman who is fully engaged, who is feeling it just as deeply, who shows him in every way that he's making her feel incredible. And when a man knows that, truly knows it, it changes everything. That's when he becomes obsessed. That's when he craves being with you again and again. So if you want to build a bond that stays with him long after the moment has passed, don't just think about what you do, think about what you express. Let yourself be heard. Let yourself be felt. And most importantly, let yourself enjoy every second of it. Because when you do, that's when he truly can't get enough of you. Men might not always admit it, but they love when a woman starts things, emotionally, playfully, and with that subtle energy that keeps them thinking about her long after she's gone. Most men are used to being the ones who start things. They're expected to make the first move, take the lead, figure out the signals. And while many men enjoy playing that role, there's something exciting about a woman who turns things around, who catches him off guard with affection, who makes him feel desired, who shows him that attraction goes both ways. Why does this work so well? Because attraction isn't just about what happens behind closed doors, it's about the build-up. It's those tiny moments of connection through the day, the touches, the glances, the soft teasing, that create anticipation long before anything physical happens. Imagine this. You're at dinner across the table from him. Instead of waiting for him to reach for you, you gently place your fingers on his, tracing slow circles with your thumb while you talk. Or maybe you're walking beside him, and instead of just holding his arm, you run your hands softly down his arm before slipping your fingers into his. These moments are small, but they're powerful. They send a message. You're not just with him, you want him. And here's what makes that so important. When you start intimacy in these small, everyday ways, it goes deeper. It tells him you're confident in your desire for him, that you're comfortable showing it, and that he doesn't have to always be the one keeping the spark alive. You're equally invested in keeping things exciting. But let's talk about another kind of intimacy, the emotional kind. Sure, a passionate kiss or a playful touch is great, but sometimes what a man really longs for is to feel emotionally connected. It's the way you lean in and truly listen when he speaks. The way you send him a random message saying you were thinking about him. The way your eyes find him across a crowded room and lock in like he's the only person there. Men notice this, and when a woman takes the lead emotionally, it does something powerful to him. It makes him want her even more. Because if you're always waiting on him to keep the connection alive, it can feel one-sided. But when you step up and show that you want him just as much, that's where the magic happens. And it doesn't take big actions. It can be as simple as whispering something sweet or playful when no one else is around, running your fingers down his neck as you pass by, giving him a look that says, "You're thinking something wild," and he's about to find out what. And the beauty is, when you do this outside of those private moments, it makes everything inside the bedroom feel more intense. Because intimacy isn't only about what happens when you're alone, it's about the energy, the spark, the little clues that something exciting is brewing. Most women wait for a man to create that vibe, but the women who stay on a man's mind, they create it themselves. They understand that attraction isn't passive. It's something you shape, something you lean into with a playful, confident heart. So if you want a man to crave you in a way that goes far beyond looks or chemistry, don't sit back and wait. Let him feel that you want him too. Show him that you're not just reacting to him, but choosing him, because when a man sees that, when he knows without question that you want him for who he is, that's when he starts to feel something more powerful than attraction. That's when he starts falling for you. Men love feeling truly wanted, not like they're just filling a role or going through motions, but like they awaken something inside you. Too often, intimacy feels expected, like a routine, but men can tell when it feels that way. What they really want is that spark, that thrill of knowing you want them as much as they want you. Not because it's time or out of habit, but because being near them lights you up. And this isn't about grand moves, it's in the looks, the gentle pull, the way you lean in, the way you take initiative without waiting for him. Because when a man feels desired, it lights him up from the inside. It makes him feel strong, attractive, and deeply connected to you beyond just physical closeness. And when he knows that you crave him just as much as he craves you, that's when you go from someone he likes to someone he can't stop thinking about. What makes a man truly crave you isn't just your appearance or actions, it's how you make him feel. Desired, connected, excited, chosen. When you show him that energy through your presence, your words, your touches, he won't be able to pull away. So don't be afraid to show it. Don't hold back, set the tone, because once he sees how into him you really are, that's when everything changes. That's when you stop being someone he dates and become someone he feels like he needs. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more relationship advice. And let me know in the comments, what's one thing you think makes a man totally hooked on you? Let's talk about it.